meeting, yes.
Okay.
Those managers together here in St. Louis. So
Okay.
just grabbed a quick bite to eat and found hopefully a quiet room here that I can talk in. I think I'll be okay.
Terrific. Well, thanks for taking some time out for us. What we'll do is go around the room. Are you having any trouble hearing me?
No, sounds great.
Okay, terrific. We'll go around the room and introduce ourselves.
I'm Kathy Greathouse.
I'm Colby Martin with the North Carolina Community Foundation.
Clinton Annis.
Patty Shank.
And I think I mentioned to you that I had two other guests that I wanted to hear this conversation, since I think they could be two good resources for you in our area. And they are Dr. David Stegall and Kim Holden. They're in here as well.
Great.
All right.
Great. Thank you.
What we'll do is take about 15 minutes for your presentation and conversation, and then we'll have about 5 minutes for questions. But it'll be very informal, so we may stop you a time or two.
Okay, great. And I would believe you have the paper that you sent, the two-pager?
Have the information from the paper, yes.
Okay, great. Okay, great. Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for taking the time to have this conversation today, and thank Jamie for connecting us. And, just briefly, the background of kind of the genesis of this proposal was that I think it was at our last board meeting, we were talking a little bit about some of the things that Unc Tv was doing, looking at focusing on early education, and we're kind of socializing and developing some plans around how might we create some sort of a virtual pre-K for the state of North Carolina using public television content with supplemental materials for parents and caregivers. We are free into everybody's home with the best early education programming in the country, maybe the world, and we're looking at ways we might be able to target that into 2 or 3 hour blocks on a daily basis, where you might have literacy day and science day, and then you could have shows that are local in nature, kind of a hosted show, much like Mr. Rogers, that would help kids with executive functions and their social emotional development. So we've been talking a little bit about that, and I think Jamie called me and left me a message on his drive back to Hickory and said, hey, you should put a little something together on paper about some of the ideas that we've talked about, and just to let the community know, what some of your ideas were. So this particular idea of the Early Education Summit is something that works very well for me and the community that I serve with my last public TV and radio station in upstate New York. It's in the southern tier of New York, kind of a depressed area where IBM pulled out and moved all their people to lovely Raleigh. And that took about 8,000 to 10,000 people out of the town with about 60,000. And so it's been a little bit of a challenge in that community trying to bounce back. And I've worked with a couple of foundation friends of mine called me and was a little bit distressed because a lot of the pre-K providers were starting to shut down because there was an unsustainable business model. They couldn't afford to keep teachers because teachers were taking regular teaching jobs because the pre-K wasn't paying as much, and even if you could qualify for universal pre-K, people had transportation issues getting to pre-K. The schools were not willing to open up pre-K schools in the schools because they looked at it as a burden. So then for-profits tried to start, and it was a real downward spiral in our community. A lot of them were shutting down. And so they invited me to a meeting with all the foundation heads from the local community, and just talked a little bit about what role public broadcasting might play in raising awareness of the issues and ways that we might bring people together to talk about the issues, and then knowing that surrounding communities are probably struggling with the same thing. It wasn't just on one community in the 20-some counties that I've served. So we put together, and this is very similar to the proposal that I'm putting in front of you, and of course this is very flexible based on the community needs. But what we did was we surveyed the educators and the pre-K providers, and really did it working with the foundation folks. And I know you've done some great work already in assessment of the community needs. And we decided that we needed we were going to put together a one-day summit so that we could invite up to about 100 people, and there were educators, state legislators, some folks that spoke were early childhood development specialists from Cornell University and other higher ed institutions issues locally, talking about brain development, why this is so important. And then we also had the Department of Social Services and their leadership there. And when we got together, we helped working with the educators put a agenda together for a day. And we wanted to have a whole day meeting just to get together and talk about the issues in smaller groups. And so we had breakout sessions. We had about 100 people there. They broke into 3 different groups. One was around legislative policy, another one was around transportation, and I think the other was workforce development and what could be done to help with getting teachers into the pipeline and things like that. So we broke into those sessions during the day. Our TV crew walked around and kind of recorded the conversation. We came together then in the studio for a full-blown televised summit where we had panelists presenting and talking about specific issues, but those that were related to the earlier conversation. We aggregated questions from the group. We also did something online where people could send in questions about early education called First Five with the project. And then we put together a 1-hour panel conversation with various different experts, and then we would actually, folks that were in the studio had the questions that we selected. We looked at all the questions, we picked top 25. I believe that we were educators kind of on an advisory panel. And then we shaped the show that became a 1-hour show, and that addressed a lot of the different issues. And it was interesting coming out of that summit, there was actually some policy that was changed in the Department of Social Service around how they would recognize people with that much sleep that they had to have, and a little bit complicated, but there was an interesting way that they had it that you couldn't get paid for transportation as your shift didn't end before 11 o'clock, but at the end of the midnight you could get it to have your child transported to pre-K. So, and it was one of those days where a lot of folks basically said, wow, I didn't realize that. Oh my gosh, this is a little way there's some bright spots. So it just really worked well. And so I just mentioned Jane, I said, look, I don't know exactly what the issues the community is wrestling with. I'm sure many of them are the same, and I've read some of the research that you've done, but this may be a way what does two things. One, brings people together that might not normally be in the room together to have these conversations. And then the other thing that's great about it, it opens the window to the community so that the folks can watch the show, can participate over the television. We also did a lot online. We have a radio service, so we have radio features and maybe some local radio stations that we work with in the region there. And it just really tried to shed the light, create some transparency on what the issues were that were around the community. And one of the big conversations in that too was making sure that businesses understood what the impact was. We have senior resource managers there from Point and Inc. and what's specializing them in areas talking about the challenges that they have in recruiting and retaining workforce because of the really limited early education available in the community. Corning area, they were trying to recruit young folks to be part of their team, but there was no really good, it was limited pre-K education, so then developing out of that, how to develop that, and the teachers would come on and maybe pitch in a little bit of money each and help create some opportunities. So, what we're proposing here is very similar to that, as I kind of laid out in the paper. Our intent, first of all, would be to come in and to work with the community to decide how to shape this show. We're certainly not an expert in this area, but we can come in and talk to the right folks, decide where the right venue is. We did this particular show in our TV studio, so it made it a little bit easier, but we would want to be in your community doing this show. So a school or something, someplace that's kind of quiet. Maybe even a church, somewhere that people feel safe coming to have an open conversation. I think would be great, and we could work with the folks, decide what the topics are, who the people are that we would like to have address the group, and also be part of the television show, and make sure that as we create this, we create it in such a way that not only the foundations, but also that participate in this, but also the community partners have video content that's in a form that they can distribute via social media, other ways on their website. The idea is really to just create an awareness campaign and kind of take its shape as it evolves. So that's what we put together, and you have, and I'm sure given that there's only about page and a quarter, you probably all have a lot of questions for me, and I'd be glad to try to entertain those now. Anything else, Jamie, before that we have talked about?
I don't think so. I think you've done a great job of covering how the summit would have a life of its own and be specific to our area, but then also be able to serve the community beyond the actual event itself.
Absolutely. Well, great. Yeah, glad to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Not for me. Very good job.
Thank you.
Oh, good.
Very thorough. When are you envisioning this?
When we did it in New York, we wanted to make sure, I was thinking probably after the holidays in the spring, we wanted to do it during the school. We picked a new service day so that some teachers, principals, superintendents of schools, so we picked a day when some folks could take the day off, but they were still involved in education. It wasn't the summertime to get people kind of engaged. But certainly every state or community is a little bit different. We sit down and think about when we really start with who the people that we want to make sure are there. What's the best time of year to get them there in the studio or other locations.
Okay. What was the best way, the event that you did in New York, what was the best way that it had a life beyond the event?
It was really through social media and through the schools and the kind of pre-K community. A lot of school teachers were there. We took on, we had a lot of updates online. We made it's still out there, wskg.org, and fumble around the website and search for First Five. The video is there. We probably weren't sophisticated in kind of banking up the video in small quantities for Facebook, but we did get a lot of kind of push and awareness. And the foundations also pushed us out, because what ended up happening is we had, I think it was the Community Foundation and then one of the other private foundations pitch in a little bit of money. They both wanted to be part of it. It wasn't terribly expensive to do, but they wanted to make sure that their folks, their constituents, saw what was being done to try to address the issue. And there's successes, and there were some great successes in that, and there was also some disappointments. And the one thing that I was trying to do differently this time, and I'm not sure how this plays in the community, but kind of the role that early childhood development plays in economic development. And the new businesses wanting to come to that community and say, what available pre-K childcare is there, and how that we were a struggling community trying to come back from what were a lot of surface card manufacturing jobs, things at IBM, and that become a challenge for some employees. They were starting to lose people that were going to realize there was not much talent there. So I've been trying to get that part of the connection made. We didn't do quite as well. We did really good at looking at the public policy and understanding kind of the economics around teacher reimbursement. Public schools need to be a part of this to make sure they open their doors, because where the pre-Ks were opening were outside of walking distance for some of the kids, and there wasn't the transportation. So the Department of Social Service said, we have 100 open spots. What do you mean we have a crisis? And the audience basically said, that's great, but nobody can get there. And so then how did we talk about the transportation issues and where they could open up these pre-Ks maybe closer to folks that can have transportation. But the economic development part of that is something that I think that what I know from the community in that area too, that might play really well, getting businesses behind it. So this is really important for us to recruit and retain talented people. So just a little bit of an editorial there from my left.
Great.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a quick one. This is Colby. I stepped out for a second, so hopefully this wasn't asked already. But for you and for Ken too, what are opportunities at all for CEUs for folks that may need it, particularly in the pre-K? realm?
Talking about like the continuing units.
Yeah, like continuing education.
Yeah, actually the teachers that attended did get those, but it wasn't a big group. That was just kind of an added benefit that we worked through the superintendent that said if you were a teacher, because we had to have a raffle actually, because there were more people that wanted to be there than we were able to accommodate. So, and we also tried to do it by region so that we didn't have everybody just from the one county. So it was tricky. I mean, I'll tell you, that was kind of a hard. It paid off in the end because we had a really nice balanced audience and the work up front paid off. But it was hard trying to give everybody an opportunity. People were really passionate about this, so there was a lot of folks that really wanted to be involved, and the work continued. And we did a lot of follow-up series on radio. We got another grant to do a whole series of radio features of Android Morning Edition about education and some challenges.
Okay, terrific.
I can check into that more, but if you'd like me to, exactly how we handle that. But I don't know exactly the continuing ed.
Do you mind if I ask a quick one?
Yeah, here you go.
Okay. So this is Kim. I work with a nonprofit here that is represented in all 100 counties in North Carolina, focused on early childhood. And I was curious, in New York, by the way, that was the county I grew up in, and we moved down here because of IBM, because my dad got moved. So I know exactly what you're talking about. So thank you, IBM. But is there a statewide infrastructure in New York that would be comparable to what we have here in North Carolina? And if so, how did you incorporate them into the planning and conversation?
Yeah, it was the New York Early Education, the NYEAC. I don't know if that's the same as the North Carolina.
I can look into it.
It was and so we worked with them. I would tell you that we worked mostly locally. That it was, except for our state representative and some of the folks that came in, but it was mostly local. But I'd be glad to check into that to see how. My memory has now been a few years, but check it.
No, that's good. I can look them up. That's good to know, just to kind of how it was all connected.
I definitely think Kim would be one of your best resources to really understand who our stakeholders are locally.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, I talked to her.
Terrific. Well, Ryan, thanks for taking time for us.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the opportunity. I hope we can move forward on something, if not this, and maybe something else to help the community. Just let me know.
Okay. Well, we'll be talking to you real soon.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you all for your time. Take care.
Bye-bye.